in the Football League. Now it is all about bouncing back for them. So the Magpies meet the Monkey Hangers, the National League weekend underway at York Road. Both these sides playing for the third time in a week. Adam Virgo, it's an unforgiving schedule, isn't it?
Well, it is always at the start of the season that the games come very, very thick and fast. I think you'd prefer that as a player. Have a long pre-season, all of a sudden you've just got the games. That's what you want to do. You want to get down to business and get out and start getting 90 minutes under your belt. It's a difficult game here today for Hartlepool. Walked across the pitch earlier. The grass is really long, very, very dry. So certainly have to play in the right areas. Very, very bobbly. Can't afford to take any chances today.
Scott Harrison it was with the crossfield pass headed down by Donnelly. Both of these sides hoping for their first wins of the season this afternoon, each with just a point from their opening two games. Headed forward by Clarima, who I'm always reminded whenever we cover a game when he's involved is a part-time male model. It is Lang who's put under pressure by Tarpey, who will be such a key man, as Adam Virgo highlighted earlier. Tarpey with that astonishing record of 44 goals last season. Determined play by O'Damerty, whose energy in that midfield could be very important indeed for Maidenhead United today. It's Alan Devonshire's first signing of the summer. Here's Clarima. Started his career with Lorient in France. It's a comfortable take for Scott Loach.
Just looking at Craig Harrison's formation, he's set up with a three at the back, going 3-5-2. Donnelly and Adams rotating on the flanks, and Magnay, Lang and Scott Harrison being the three centre-halves. Magnay more in the middle. Because of his pace, he can just play as that sweeper.
It's forward towards Roderick Ammond here. Now Clarima for Maidenhead United. How difficult, Adam, in the early stage of the season with a squad with so many changes to find the right shape, find the right blend and formula, which is what Hartlepool are having to do right now.
Well, they do, and any side to get relegated from League Two, a lot of in-goings and outgoings. You only have to see at Steve Davis's Leyton Orient that the changes that he's made, they got that win during the week, which certainly breathes confidence.
Played wide here by Marks. And now Pritchard. Comley, and Pritchard has continued his run, and it was closely watched by Liam Donnelly, who made a very important challenge there.
Well, here's a timely challenge there. Great little through ball from Comley. Perfectly timed challenge there from Donnelly.
First corner of the game taken by Tarpey. It wasn't a bad delivery at all, was it? And it was Pritchard who arrived in on it.
When you're talking about new teams, you're talking about new squads, you have to be marking better than this. Free header there.
Harry Pritchard in his 6th full season at Maidenhead United. I remember he was outstanding the season before last when he swept the board in terms of the end of season awards. Last season saw him almost double his best ever league tally for goals, managed 10 in the National League South. But as we've mentioned before the game, Adam, for these Maidenhead United players now, it's can you make the step up, can you do it at a higher level?
Well, they're certainly in the shot window. When you come up into the National League, coming with momentum, a lot of the times you tend to keep the same squads due to the budget. But they've got the right manager in charge for me, and Alan Devonshire knows the league very well from Braintree.
Tarpey's done well and has found Clarima here. And to try and take on Blair Adams, who brings a wealth of experience into this Hartlepool side. Has had a problem with injury right at the start of the season, but fit and raring to go now.
Well, made a difference, didn't he, when he came on against Maxfield, just so you get that balance to the side. Really injected some quality in the final third.
Long throw in from Clarima. Kept in here by the Maidenhead United captain, Alan Massey. What an important player he was for them last season. A little hard on the sleeve type player. Comley applying the pressure here. There's a feature of Maidenhead United's play. Hustling and harrying. Kilman's ball forward.
Well, it's a ball that Maidenhead are going to be looking to play more often than not, those little balls into the channel. Said it several times, that the ball's got to hold up now. There's no real dew on the surface. Haven't watered it at all. And Devonshire's using these conditions to his advantage, the way that his side likes to play.
Played forward here by Newton. Donnelly. Kilman's been out-muscled there as Cassidy looks to try and get Ammond involved, and Cassidy's continued his run. That's well defended.
Just that little bit of link-up play from the front two I was talking about before the game. Kilman, you can't go and win that one. You can't get tight to Cassidy and allow him to spin you like that.
Worth reminding people that these Maidenhead United players are part-time. Many also have other jobs and understanding bosses, as Alan Devonshire was saying to me before the game. Says he's still loving being a manager, but doesn't get quite as wound up as he used to. Was an FA Cup winner with West Ham United. And Tuesday night saw Maidenhead beaten 2-1 here by Wrexham. Emmanuel Smith got both the goals for the visitors. Hartlepool came from behind to draw 1-1 with Macclesfield at Moss Road. Jake Cassidy's first goal for the club, earning a point. Interesting talking to Craig Harrison before the game. He said that he felt in both of their matches this season, whilst the results haven't been what they wanted, he feels that they've got better as the games have gone on. Yeah,
I think I mentioned before the game, very awkward to play against Chris Kinnear side in Dover, and the home game being as well. There's been a lot of pressure on him. But to go away to Maxfield, the second half performance was where he felt that he dug in and he got the result, and he got a good, well-deserved point from there. And if you feel as a manager with a new team, if you're progressing game by game and you're hitting the targets that you want to hit, then it's only a good sign. He's plenty of experience behind him.
Also says that he likes the weight of expectation, Craig Harrison, used to it from his days in Wales with TNS, where they were expected to win every week. A draw was like a defeat, he says. A defeat was like being relegated. Did forward by Upward. Underneath it for Hartlepool was Magnay, and now Tarpey. Just forced a little further wide than he would have wanted, but it was a good ball in as well. He'd seen that run from midfield by Ryan Upward.
Well, it's a great run from Ryan Upward. You just watch the determination when he realises that Tarpey's out wide to get the cross in. Just see him at the top of your screen now, that desire to run into the box. Not the best clearance from Magnay, but say credit to the captain. Great block there from him.
In the 9th minute at York Road. And another set piece here for Hartlepool to defend. It's into a good area. Header clear was by Donnelly. Clarima. They will very often try that, won't they? That long ball into the area with a presence like Sean Marks to aim at.
It's the side of the game that Craig Harrison's side and Steve Davis's side and Mickey Mellon's. These are the games that if you pick up 3 points away from home against sides that are relentless of putting the ball in the final third, makes a big difference. And you learn about your characters today. Games like today, you learn about the people that want to dig in deep and put their bodies on the line and get themselves hurt if they have to make blocks. But then you need that quality in the final third when you've been under a lot of pressure.
It was a tactic that Lincoln City used very effectively last season. If it was good enough for the title winners of last season, good enough for anyone, I guess. O'Damerty has found Pritchard. Width provided here by Remy Clarima. New ball required. Has been good. I don't know about you, Vergs. I think you've been here before, but it was nice for me to tick off another ground. And of course, there'll be many that the Hartlepool United supporters will be visiting for the first time this season. Today was a 540-mile round trip for those who've made the journey from the northeast. But they do have a reputation as having a good away following, Hartlepool.
Yeah, well, I've been to Hartlepool a few times, but I never seem to get the August fixture. I always tend to get the December one, which is always a little bit cold coming from the south coast.
Ammons looking for a second opportunity. He's played a clever ball there as well for Blair Adams, who's up against Clarima. He's done very well indeed there, the Frenchman. Comley's header. It was Donnelly who initially tried to win it back.
Just certainly on the front foot in these first 10 minutes, Maidenhead early on. Just think the back three of Hartlepool, when the ball goes up to them, they've got time. They need to have a little bit more control, maybe just be brave and chest it down and bring Newton, their holding midfielder, into play. Then they can start getting the ball down and just trying to get a little bit more into the game.
Clearance by Massey. Side flag up, and a free kick for Hartlepool. No wholesale changes really made by Maidenhead over the summer. It's pretty much the same group of players that got them up. There were only 5 summer signings. 8 new players have come in at Hartlepool, while 14 have moved on. It's quite the squad overhaul that Craig Harrison has presided over so far. Just kept in here by Blair Adams. It was always going to be a tough one for Louis Lang to keep it.
Just talk about the areas. Got to play in the right areas on this surface.
Kilman. That's nice into Tarpey, who's always looking to get on the turn, and he almost did brilliantly there. Always on his toes, isn't it, Tarpey? Just that sort of player, plenty of energy in that final third, and can be a real poacher as well. Foul on Jake Cassidy.
It's quite difficult for the back three of Hartlepool to really squeeze up, and the gap between themselves and Newton is just a little bit too big, and that's where Tarpey can get into good areas. But it's never easy. They're playing against the slope, they're playing against the winds, they're playing against long balls into the channel.
Movement here from Donaldson, but who can Blair Adams pick out? Goalkeeper claims it comfortably, hasn't had a great deal to do so far, Carl Pentney. Headed by Kilman. Helped on by Clarima, but wasn't the cleverest of headers, was it? Intercepted by Blair Adams, and O'Doherty looking to win it back for Maidenhead United. And O'Doherty has done well here. There's 4 forward in this attack now for Maidenhead United, others joining them as well. O'Doherty has picked out a good ball to Upward. Goodman it was who found touch. Well, his energy and his endeavour is going to be so important today.
Well, I mentioned the surface so many times, and Newton thought on a normal surface that rolls out plate. I say Upward just gets it caught under his feet a little bit. So good pressure from Maidenhead in that midfield area.
Donaldson, who was part of that Cambridge United side that won the playoff final at this level in 2014. He scored the winner actually in the final. Newton. Magnay, the captain. A lot of misplaced passes at the moment.
The 2 wing-backs in particular, Adams and Donnelly, are so on. If they can get that quality ball out wide early.
Oh, that's really well taken by Donnelly. Into the area he goes. Well, it lacked the finish in the end. Didn't quite have the composure, but it was brilliant to begin with.
It's the ball that's been screaming out for Hartlepool to keep playing. Especially Donnelly down that right-hand side and Adams down the left. They're really hugging the byline. So it was good defended in the end from Kilman. He just got caught wrong side, but just managed to do enough to stop the shot going on target.
He captained Fulham's youth team to the 2014 FA Youth Cup final. Liam Donnelly, a Northern Ireland international. Marks trying to win it for Maidenhead United. It didn't quite roll for O'Doherty. Strong challenge on upward. Hawkins it was who went sliding in.
So both players are happy to put their foot in.
They will have to do this at this level. Hartlepool had a harsh lesson on the opening weekend against Dover. So they learned a lot from it though. Clarima's ball in towards Marks. And it's going to come out here to Harry Pritchard. Conley. Forward from left back is Max Kilman. There's his cross. It's a great ball over. Well, the angle was always against Sean Marks, but it was good build-up play.
Well, they did really well to keep the second ball alive. Marks always looking to try and pull on the shoulders. Just enough there to put him off there, Harrison, but he just can't quite leap high enough to hang himself to put the ball back across goal. It was a decent ball in, though.
Sean Marks, a player who Alan Devonshire also had for some time at Braintree, where he made over 300 appearances. Kilman. Just too much on it for Sean Marks, but that's who they're always looking for, isn't it?
Well, he had two options when he came on his right foot. Kilman, Marks on the diagonal, and he had Tarpey just coming short. He's had that experience in the final third. We're talking about Cassidy. I was talking about the target man in the National League. I just think it's so important. He just got someone up there who's going to be physical, can hold up the ball, bring people into play.
What a strike force they were last season, Marks and Tarpey for Maidenhead United. They scored 63 goals between them. Anything like that level in this league would be a big achievement. Newton. So to go all the way back here to Scott Loach. A tussle involving Hammond and Massey. Good battles all over the pitch right now. The game just lacking that little bit of quality, that little bit of finesse though. Here's Comley. Fouled by Lewis Hawkins. Maidenhead United were eager to get on with it, and that wasn't far away at all. No messing about from James Comley.
Well, he's not really renowned for his goal-scoring exploits. I think it's great, just that quick free kick. Down and out. Hartlepool at any time. I'll tell you what, Scott Loach for that split second was right in your mouth moment. Just had him scrambling back towards his line.
He's been capped by England at sea level, and he's the pivot in this midfielder. Started out at Crystal Palace, made 4 appearances in the Championship in the 2008-09 season. Good first time by Clarima, flicked on by Marks. It's the nudge on Lank. Hartlepool likely to find Maidenhead tough to break down. They had the best defensive record in the National League South last season. They conceded just 29 goals. But Hartlepool on the attack here with Hammond, who tried to find Cassidy in the middle. They've managed to keep this going here. Hartlepool, the flicked on by O'Doherty, and it comes out here to Lewis Hawkins and Blair Adams, and now Hawkins again. Headed by Clarima. And Cassidy was trying to find Hammond.
So he hasn't really been tested so far, has he? Penley. Just keeping the ball in the final third enough, Hartlepool. I know the way they're playing against the physical people.
Clearance by Magne comes out to Blair Adams here, making his first start for his new club. Nice touch off Clarima. Well, Mark Pugach is joined by Robbie Savage, Chris Sutton, Dean Saunders, Paul Ince and Kelly Smith on BT Sport Score this afternoon. That's at 2:45 on BT Sport 1, also in 4K. Our first live Premier League game of the season comes from the Amex Stadium as newly promoted Brighton hosts big spending Manchester City. That's at 5 o'clock. And Jake Humphrey is joined by Steven Gerrard, Frank Lampard and Steve McManaman to review the Premier League action in Premier League tonight. That's at 8. Kept in here by Donnelly. He's got Pritchard in front of him, but he managed to get the crossover. Almost picked out Cassidy.
Well, it's a one-out ball. I feel that Hartlepool could really get at Maidenhead down that right-hand side.
Damity with that great stride of his. Here's Conley. Good combination in the midfield, those two. Kilman. He's played for England futsal team, Max Kilman. It's a good ball in towards Marks and Tarpey. Well, the flag is up on the far side, and it's an offside flag against Sean Marks. I just thought for a moment that they could have given a foul there for the challenge on Marks.
Well, it's a very clumsy challenge. I think that's on. But it is a foul. It's clumsy. I was just talking about Tarpey and Marks. They're playing really, really close together.
Scott Harrison with the challenge there. Let off really with that offside flag going up. He was saying the other day that he feels that this level is a good platform for these Hartlepool players to prove themselves, show what they can do. But it does present so many challenges as well, as they're finding in these opening few games. Lang. Clarima looking for Comley. Played back here by Harrison. York Road, such a fortress for Maidenhead last season. They only dropped 9 points at home. Conceded just 11 goals in 21 games. Cassidy with the ball over. Clearance was by Alan Massey. Donnelly with the foul. O'Damerty. Wide here is Clarima. Still we await the opening goal at York Road in the 24th minute here, the opening game of the National League weekend. I have to say, Adam, how Hartlepool will need to be better on the road if they're to challenge for promotion, which is their minimum aim. They have won just one of their last 19 away matches in all competitions. Their last away win was at Cambridge United in March.
I think any promotion challenge and playoffs, or you're winning your league, your away form, so crucial. Coming to these kind of places are very, very difficult. They found that so far in these first 24 minutes that it's not going to be an easy afternoon for them. It's a play, you just need to dig deep and just really grind something out.
Upward. O'Damerty's wide. He's got Clarima in support as well. It's in towards Marks. Didn't quite roll for Pritchard, but they're offering a threat here at Maidenhead United.
Well, the two full-backs, the wing-backs for Hartlepool, just not doing enough to stop crosses coming into the box. Kilman down the left-hand side. Damerty on the right-hand side there.
The corner is taken quickly, but it's a confident claim by Scott Loach. Brings a wealth of experience with him, doesn't he? Former England under-21 international. 14 times he was capped for the 21s. Started that final against Germany in Euro 2009 in place of Joe Hart, who was suspended that day. He was twice named in senior squads, actually, in 2010. Kilman. Inside here to Conley. He's been one of the standout players so far. Kilman. They're cleared by Lang, and now it's Hodrick Ammon for Hartlepool. Well, he's done well there. Gets Newton involved. And it's fallen here for Cassidy. Both sides just lacking that killer instinct at the moment.
So didn't know if Ammon, didn't know if he was going to go across goal or cut the ball back.
Jake Cassidy, former Welsh under-21 international, brought him from Guiseley on a free, but he has proven himself at a much higher level than this. So remember, he got 16 goals in 36 League One appearances at Tranmere a few years ago. How difficult, Adam, when you have played at a higher level, when you drop down maybe a league or two, how hard can it be to adjust?
It's very, very difficult, and you sometimes go into the mindset of dropping down a league that you're going to be far, far better. And I did it when I was in League One and dropped down to League Two. It's very difficult to get your head around sometimes, and the physical side of the game is the main thing that you notice more.
11 3 o'clock kickoffs in the National League today. Two potential promotion challengers meet at 10 Acres. Eastleigh host Dagenham and Redbridge. Two other newly promoted sides meet at Stonebridge Road, as well as Ebbsfleet take on Fylde. Such an intriguing season ahead in the National League. It's great to be covering it again. Here's Pritchard, who looks for Marks, and he's found Marks, and Tarpey's in there as well, but the flag is up.
Well, they had one very, very close call for an offside. And again, he's just half a yard offside this time. But they're just looking for that ball every single time.
His presence, such a threat, isn't it? Sean Marks has that ability to link up the play with likes of Tarpey and Pritchard around him. They're his legs, basically.
Yeah, I mean, it's vitally important that you don't necessarily need a lot of pace as a target man, but if you've got pace in and around you, good movement, you're that person that can make the ball stick in the final third. You could have a lot more joy if you have that. If it just keeps coming back every single time, your flair players, your quality players in the final third are just not going to be involved enough.
He's out of play. It will be a Maidenhead United throw in. Louis Langer, former England under-19 international, brought him from Inverness in July. Blair Adams. Hawkins, pressurised by Clarima, and it's back here with Harrison.
I think the front two need to work a little bit harder for Hartlepool. When the ball's down the right-hand side, you need both of them over to be a little bit closer. When it's over the left-hand side, they need to be working hard across the line to give the players on the ball a little bit deeper, more options.
Good strength shown by Clarima. Comley. Pritchard. It's backwards here by Donnelly, and now it's Alan Massey. This time ball by Kilman, looking for Marks. Maidenhead, you'd think, will take a lot of heart from the fact that both teams who were promoted to the National League from the National League South in 2016 each managed to stay up last season. Sutton came 12th, Maidstone United ended at 14th, but both were 8 points above the relegation zone. Harrison looking for Porrick Ament. He's done well to just about keep that in play. Cassidy waits in the middle. Blair Adams with the cross. Kilman gets a good head to it, but it comes out here to Newton. Donaldson.
It's the first time the Hartlepool just played the ball in the channel, saying to your front two, go on, you go and chase that.
He says he would much rather be at a big club with the weight of expectation they have at Hartlepool than perhaps a small club where the aim is just to survive every year. I think that's the mentality he's trying to get across to his players as well. Yes, there's a pressure that comes with being a big ex-Football League club, but it's how you deal with that pressure. Adams is doing very well indeed here. It's an absolutely wonderful run, and on he goes still. And what is his first start for Hartlepool? Almost left a big impression there. Blair Adams. Encouragement here for Hartlepool. Chance to cross for Donnelly. Intercepted here by James Comley. Hasn't been too much in the way of clear-cut chances for either side, but both teams have had spells in the game of pressure.
Well, it's just a little bit more urgency from Hartlepool. They're not really doing much in the final third in terms of quality. So sometimes every now and then with the pitches, you just going to make a run with it like Blair Adams has just done.
He was a player who Hartlepool supporters tell me they felt always did very well against them, so they'll be glad that he's now on their team. Also has a degree in sports journalism, apparently, Blair Adams. Might be after your job one day, Bergs.
He's more than happy to come and work with you. See how stressful life can get.
Kilman with the throw. You can see every goal from today's games in the fifth tier in the Vanarama National League highlight show. That's tomorrow at 10. That's on 3. Our next live National League game is in a fortnight's time. We're at the Shea for a West Yorkshire derby, Halifax against Guiseley. And then on Bank Holiday Monday, we head to Mill Farm as newly promoted and ambitious Fylde host Barrow. Forward early by Kilman. Hawkins. Sent through the middle by Magnay and flicked on by Ament. And he says what a great buzz he gets, Alan Devonshire, off seeing players he's worked with go on to bigger and better things. Was telling me about Andy Yadam, who he had at Braintree, who's just signed for the Premier League New Boys Huddersfield. And there could be a chance here for Tarpey! He's taken that chance! Last season's goal-scoring talisman is at it now at a higher level. In the National League, he's doing the business, and Maidenhead United lead here at York Road.
For the first 33 minutes, you're working hard to try and see things out. And then this just happens. The most basic goal you can concede in football. So poor. Lang just does not get goal side. You always are going to expect that Marks is going to get that flick on. Tarpey does brilliantly, and when he gets in that position there, just really bobbles it past Scott Loach. You know what's going to happen. They switch off for that split second, and the pressure of Maidenhead is counted, and they got themselves that lead.
2 goals in 3 National League games for Dave Tarpey. 44 he got in 41 league games last season. They so glad they were to keep him. He turned down other offers over the summer. He said it was a hard decision, but his attitude was the grass isn't always greener. Just over 10 minutes to go of this first half. And there'll be a lot of thinking for Craig Harrison to be doing, Adam Berger.
Adam, he'd be absolutely fuming with that goal. You're talking about new partnerships and new squads or whatever. I don't care about that. It's the most basic goal you can concede in football. One long ball over the top. You know that ball's going to happen. The little flick on. Lang just doesn't get goal side enough on Tarpi. He'd be absolutely fuming.
Tarpi scored 80 league goals in his first 3 seasons with Maidenhead United, all in the National League South, and he's running onto this as well, and he's got Marks waiting in the middle, unable to find him as it's cut out by Magnay.
Well, it's important now, big 10 minutes for Hartlepool, that they just don't hit the self-destruct button and concede another quick goal.
Well, he's got to be delighted, Alan Devonshire, not just with the goal, but also the performance of his side so far.
Oh, you're just looking at all the areas that I always look at. Maidenhead are just ticking more boxes in the right areas. They're pressing more in midfield. I think they're settling into the game on the ball. They've created more chances. And listen, as he said before the game, he doesn't tend to take too much notice of the opposition.
It's gone Hartlepool's way. Was quite annoyed, Alan Devonshire, that they didn't get anything from that game against Wrexham during the week that they lost 2-1. So they felt that they deserved it. An unjust result. This is Pritchard. Side here to Conley, but it'd been read by Newton. And now Jake Cassidy for Hartlepool. Can they hit back quickly here? Ammon's waiting in the middle. And Massey came across the captain and was helped out by Conley as well. I have to say, it's a real testament to these Maidenhead United players that you would have no idea that one of these teams was part-time and the other full-time. Not now, anyway. Maybe it'll tell in the second half, we'll
certainly.
see.
Fitness levels will come into play. They've got a great foundation, had the best defence in the league last year. So to beat Ebbsfleet in a league with the money that they've got down there was a huge achievement for that man.
To say that he feels there are several players in this current squad who will go pro. Louis Lang winning the throw-in here for Hartlepool. These are a real indicator of just how competitive this National League will be this season, right throughout the table, when you consider that just 2 of the 24 teams still have a 100% record after 2 games. It was Aldershot and Dagenham and Redbridge, both beaten playoff semi-finalists last season. What have you made of the reaction of Hartlepool, Adam?
I'm pretty poor, to be honest. They haven't really shown me anything in the first 38 minutes that they're in for the fight or just trying to grind something out of the game.
It's Blair Adams, who has been one of the better players for today's visitors. That's a decent ball as well, looking for Hawkins. Tried to return it to Blair Adams, it was cleared by Clarima and up towards Sean Marks. Forced all the way backwards here to his goalkeeper, Pentney. Tarpi gives chase here. It's causing Magnay problems and he had to head it behind.
I say this in the nicest way, he's just a menace. It's one of the hardest things to deal with as a defender, just a player that just constantly keeps running at you, running the channels, he just chases everything down.
There's a bit of the Ricky Millers about him, the way he gets about. How many goals he managed at Dover last season. Lots of energy, never stays still. Really busy penalty box, and headed towards goal and just kept out. Right on the line, so close to a second. Loach was almost beaten again. That time the clearance was by Donaldson. Blair Adams with the clearance it was, but Maidenhead United looked to come again. Oh, Kilman's in there.
Well, this is why he had players on the post, for this particular reason. I thought he had just scored there. It just takes a slight deflection of Ryan upwards.
Clarima, who'll stride forward here. Tarpey's in the area, or on the edge of it anyway. Marks is in there too, but he just didn't make up his mind. That was a really promising position for Maidenhead.
That was good defending there from Scott Harrison. You've got to give him credit when you've got a player that's got 20 yards to run at you with pace, going towards your own penalty area. Stood on his feet well, moved his feet really well. Made a good challenge.
Everything just seems to be going Maidenhead's way at the moment.
We always knew this was going to be a difficult game for Craig Harrison's side, coming here with the conditions and the relentless pressure that Maidenhead really play in the final thirds. I think he just want a bit more quality on the ball. Use your wing-backs a little bit more. Just try and get Hammond and Cassidy into the game, even if you have to miss out your midfield.
O'Damerty looking to get on the end of that. Well, he's had the free kick given against him. And much bemusement, I think it's fair to say, at that decision around York Road.
It's certainly one of those fouls that the home fans won't enjoy.
Often hard to predict how sides who dropped down from League Two will fare in the National League. Just last season, Dagenham and Redbridge came fourth, while York City suffered back-to-back relegations. About adjusting for Hartlepool United. Not just in that respect either, the fact that they've got so many new players to bed in. Damerty. Now then, Donaldson. Chased by Pritchard. Adams forward here. And it's in towards Cassidy, who'll look to get on the turn. He does get on the turn. And it's an effort anyway, because there haven't been too many of those from Hartlepool.
Well, he had Connor Newton on the edge of the box. You could just see him coming into your screen now, screaming for it to be laid back. Decides to spin himself. You had Blair Adams coming in off the line as well. Just a bit more injection and pace, and you're holding it up in the final third.
Well, both sets of players appealing here. There appeared to be a clash of heads involving Magnay and Marks. He's a handful, isn't he, Marks?
I've mentioned it so many times now. I think if you ask any manager in the National League, if you don't have your target man in there, you ask Danny Cowley about Matt Reed, you ask Paul Benson to John Steele what he brought to the side, Gary Johnson with Danny Wright at Cheltenham, they all have a purpose. So important.
16 league goals himself last season, Sean Marks. Tarpey was the star of the show in that respect, but he certainly weighed in himself. Foul here on Comley. There's maybe a little bit of frustration showing in the Hartlepool performance right now.
It's just one of these halves that you just want to get in the half-time, regroup, regather. Penny hasn't really been tested whatsoever in terms of shots.
It's been a frustrating first half for those Hartlepool supporters, loyal as they are. That 500-mile round trip, in fact it's over that, I think it's nearer 540 actually. Pritchard inside the final minute of normal time at the end of the first half, and it went from Kilman, controlled by Newton. Allen was rather waiting for that. The centre half, Jake Goodman, wasn't standing on ceremony though.
Well, again, he just first one to the ball, playing on the front foot. Yeah, he got a little bit excited there, don't get me wrong. They're just not doing enough, I think, from Hartlepool. They're not really putting in an effort now.
Was relegated from the National League with Braintree last season. Started out at Millwall. Jake Goodman has also played at Luton and AFC Wimbledon. By Massey. Brought down here by Comley. caught there by Lewis Hawkins. Referee happy for it to go on. Just the 60 seconds to be added on at York Road at the end of this first half. Long searching ball forward. Comley. Pritchard. There's the goal scorer Tarpey. Away from Lang. And they create something right at the end of this first half, the home side. O'Doherty. He has Hawkins in front of him. Clarima. O'Doherty's done well. Has options in the middle, the pullback's decent. Man, it looked like the shot was on there for Pritchard.
I think it was on his left foot, he shoots. Goes onto his right, just a little bit hesitant to lay it off.
Well, what an opportunity for Pritchard, perhaps, to add a second right at the end of this first half.
A bit of injection in pace, a bit of quality in the final third. Has to be more selfish there.
Maybe something of a wasted opportunity, but Tarpey took his chance to go then at the start of the second half, where Hartlepool United, relegated from League Two last season, must look to come from behind against Maidenhead United, who are only 2 leagues below today's opponents, remember, just a year ago. There has been a change at half-time that we should tell you about pretty quickly. It's been made by Craig Harrison and Hartlepool, with Michael Woods coming into the midfield, replacing Lewis Hawkins. So trying to act quickly, the Hartlepool manager is O'Doherty. Great start to the second half here by Maidenhead United. Tarpey involved. Pritchard, who had that chance at the end of the first half, upward looks to try and drill one in. It was cleared by Louis Lang. This is Jake Goodman. And just confirmation then, Adam Virgo, of that change with Michael Woods brought on.
Well, Michael Woods coming on now means a change of formation for Craig Harrison's side, leaving the 3-5-2, now going for the traditional match. You know, Van and Devonshire going 4-4-2. So Donnelly and Adams can really rotate down that left-hand side.
Here's Blair Adams. Important block made by Jake Goodman.
Ryan Donaldson will go out to the right-hand side and play on the wing.
He's done well. Goodman in the heart of that Maidenhead United defence, preferred today to Dean Inman, which was a big decision by Alan Devonshire, because Inman and Massey's partnership last season was so important to them winning the title. Goodman, one of the summer recruits. Goalkeeper was a little unsure, but the whistle goes, and the header off target regardless from Porrick Hammond.
We saw with the Wrexham game during the week, Carl Pentney, one thing I've got against him, that crosses into the box, he sort of doesn't seem to dominate his area enough.
It's Maidenhead United's first ever season in the National League. Isn't the first time the BT Sport cameras have been here, though, by the way. There was a sellout crowd here for an FA Cup first round replay against Port Vale back in November of 2015. They lost 3-1, despite taking the lead in that match. Well, you really, I don't know about you, Adam, but I've got the sense since we arrived at the ground that they really wanted to make a big impression today on live television.
Well, it's a big day for them, and Alan Devonshire made that with his interview with James before. It's a shop window for a lot of these players, and shows how far the club's come in the last few years.
Woods looking to get on the end of that, and he has. Just overran it slightly, but has done well to manage to keep that in. In goes the early cross. Too much on that, but it's been a reasonably bright start to the second half from Craig Harrison's side.
And I'm sure he'd have had words at half-time. The goal is one thing they'd have spoken about, but even just then, Michael Woods, just a bit more pressure in midfield. No midfield runners got in behind Cassidy and Hammond.
Marks runs away from Tarpey. Played back by Magnay here to Scott Loach. To say relegation, something that few Hartlepool supporters would have expected even halfway through last season. They were 7 points clear of the relegation zone when Dave Jones took over in January, Adam, but just 13 points from a possible 51 in his 17 games in charge. And then, of course, the rest is history.
Well, I commented about it last season when they brought in Dave Jones, a man that had been out of football for 4 years, didn't know League Two whatsoever, and then they leave it with an inexperienced player and manager now, Matt Bates, to come in and just try and steer the ship to keep them up. And really odd appointment with Dave Jones, and they've seemed to suffer the consequences from it.
Marks looks for Tarpey, and he might have found him, but for Scott Harrison sticking out a leg. The flag was up anyway. To say what a great time it is for this football club. They've truly never had it so good at York Road. Maidenhead playing at the highest level they've managed in the club's 147-year existence after what was their best ever season. But they've got work to do here, some defending to do. 5 minutes have passed by in this second half. Hartlepool have been the better side so far. The goalkeeper again wasn't sure, and it was Cassidy who got the shot in but put it wide.
Well, he just snapped at it a little bit, but again, you're looking at Carl Penley. Again, just flapping. He's not too sure whether to come for it or stay on his line. Just a little snapshot there. Just can't quite wrap his foot around it. Jake Cassidy, but much better on set plays from Hartlepool.
1,491, including 259 in...
Headed by Magnay. Comley under pressure from Woods.
Even just then, Michael Wood has just come onto the game now. Just implemented a little bit more emphasis in that midfield area. He's pushing higher, putting pressure now on Coleman and Upward in that midfield area for Maidenhead.
What he will do as well, Michael Woods, is make good forward runs, sometimes ahead of the ball, and drive the team forward as well. Exactly what they need, really, when you look at the first half performance. Already in a good battle with Comley. He's on Chelsea's books for 5 years. Woods, as Marks is unable to beat Harrison to that. Distribution by Loach to find Donnelly. Guided out here by Jake Goodman. What will Alan Devonshire, I wonder, be making of the start to the second half?
One of the things now, he knows the quality that Hartlepool have, that they're going to up the tempo a little bit, be a bit more better on the ball, knowing that it's a very dangerous scoreline that, you know, they can score with the quality that they've got going forward. It's just trying to keep their discipline, keeping to the principles that they did in the first half, keep turning them, playing on those second balls, and you know the front two up front are always going to be constantly on the move, constantly running.
Really feels he has an ability to empathise with players at this level who've maybe been let go by bigger clubs, Alan Devonshire, because that was what happened to him a long time ago when he was let go by Palace as a youngster, played non-league football with Southall while working as a forklift truck driver at the Hoover factory in West London. And of course ended up at West Ham, became an FA Cup winner. Easy take for Loach. Donnelly back here to Loach. Off the head of Ammond. Clarima gets it clear for Maidenhead United. We always talk, Adam, don't we, about the pressure on players who represent big ex-Football League clubs at National League level. How can they deal with that, the Hartlepool players? How can they overcome that?
Well, they need to start winning games more quickly. That breeds confidence into them. They've got to prove stuff to themselves day in, day out in training, testing each other every single time. The way that they bounce back from defeats, if you get a draw when you should have got a win, always just trying to progress on to that next game and try and improve every single time as an individual and as a team.
Almost ran through to Marks. So often so close together, aren't they, those front two for Maidenhead, Marks and Tarpey. Off Clarima for a throw in here to Hartlepool. Taken by Cassidy. Time very much clearly of the essence here for Hartlepool, the way they're getting things going so quickly again. Newton. O'Damerty. Showed too much of that to Donnelly. Donaldson. There's the left back, Max Kilman, came through the academy at Maidenhead United. Newton. I have to say this change in shape seems to be suiting Hartlepool, looking much more effective than they did in the first half at the moment. Cassidy heading for that byline, and the crossover was decent, and it was headed clear by Max Kilman. It's all Hartlepool at the moment.
Well, the change of formation is one thing, but what they're doing now, Blair Adams down the left-hand side, he's playing high and wide. Ryan Donaldson down the right-hand side, really pushing on the two fullbacks. Not saying they're playing a flat four up front, but they're playing very, very high. So they're putting pressure on Maidenhead at the back to stop the ball being played long early on. That's where they weren't really pushing higher up with the 3-5-2 before. The change in formation is working really well for Hartlepool.
Hammond. Corner kick for Hartlepool.
Yeah, good reaction from Craig Harrison's side in this second half. I'm sure one or two words would have been said. They've come out, the change of formation. Just a bit more now with the second balls. They're putting pressure on Maidenhead in their own final third, stopping them playing out from the back. So the keeper here has flapped at a few crosses so far. Expect another one under the bar.
Look to put Pentney under as much pressure as possible, you would think. Expected it to maybe go right underneath the bar, but not the tactic used by Hartlepool. Here's Newton. Kilman volleys clear. But they're not seeing too much of the ball right now, Maidenhead United.
Well, tactically as well, Hartlepool haven't got the ball. The shape of formation is so much better. More movement in the final third, more movement in front of them.
Oh, Tarpey here with a chance to get his second, and he does, emphatically. Terrific Tarpey does it again for Maidenhead United. What a start to life in the National League for him and his club. He hammered that one home.
But I don't care who you are, you don't save those. I was talking about the pitch before the game. It's very dry, it's very sticky. It's a really poor ball from Lang across the 18-yard box. But he reads it really well, David Tarpey. Gets the ball out of his feet. Emphatically strikes it in and off the bar. He has been excellent in this game so far. What a finish. You'll certainly enjoy watching that one over and over again.
Well, it was Lang's ball that created the opportunity for Tarpey, who didn't need asking twice, and that shake of the head says it all. At a time, Adam, when Hartlepool were having their best spell of the game so far.
They were so on top in this game. You really felt that Maidenhead weren't getting out the areas, they weren't getting into the game. Got to play to conditions, Adam. I'm telling you this time and time again in the National League. It's dry pitch, the grass is long. You don't be playing a short ball across the 18-yard box.
I asked Craig Harrison about his approach to life in the National League, and although I think there is an eagerness to try and play football, he did say that we will be pragmatic when we need to be. Talked about having a plan B and a plan C. And I think the manager, in fairness to him, Adam, the way he's changed the tactics, the change in shape, everything was working just fine, but you can't legislate for an error like that, can you?
I was talking about the first goal. You learn that under 10 level, a long ball from a goalkeeper. You need to get people round bodies when the ball's being flicked on. That's not playing in a new team, playing that ball across the 18-yard box. That's just ill discipline. Kept the ball very, very well in this second half. Read the ball brilliantly, and I say just a great finish. No better finish than it coming in off the underside of the bar.
44 goals he got last season, and now it's 3 in 3 this season. I wondered whether Alan Devonshire might be contemplating changes, not necessarily maybe in personnel, but shape to try and combat how much better Hartlepool, Adam, had been in the second half, but then suddenly, well, he can relax a little bit now with that two-goal cushion.
Yeah, I think he's felt that the goal lead that they deserved in the first half was very, very much under threat in the start of this second half. I'd be delighted to see that goal going. I think it just gives him a little bit more of a cushion. Still a dangerous scoreline, though.
Comley. O'Damerty shows good strength and determination again. And he's got it wide to Pritchard. His cross is cut out by Lang. What a blow it will have been, you would think, to the confidence of Hartlepool to concede when they were on top in the game, really.
Well, it happens, Adam, and I think now 3 games now, no clean sheets. Got to try and build a foundation from the back and then try and work that forward and implement that into the game. 2 basic goals today, honestly. So I think Craig Harrison will sleep with the lights on tonight.
His whole managerial career until Hartlepool has been spent in the Welsh Premier League, firstly with Airbus UK Broughton and then TNS. Guided them to 13 honours, including 6 league titles. Also beat Ajax's world record for successive top-flight victories with those 27 consecutive wins, and he's had to work very hard for a chance at a club the size of Hartlepool. Here's Tarpey. Marks felt he should have got a free kick there. Blair Adams now for Hartlepool.
I think it's important now for Hartlepool to keep to the principles that they did in the start of this second half. Keeping that high press, stopping Maidenhead playing out from the back.
Clarima. Pressure by Cassidy. He's got a throw in as well. He's already made 1 change, Craig Harrison, with Woods coming on at half-time, and it looks as though there is at least another 1 imminent. Nicky Devedix being prepared. Blair Adams with the cross, that's not a bad ball. Flicked on by Ryan Upward as Tarpey gives chase. What a bundle of energy Tarpey is, and on a hat-trick as well.
Certainly full of energy. 2 different kind of goals. Playing the trap with the ball across the 18-yard box that he took, and so Sean Marks, you gamble every single time. 2 or 3 times you'll get through on goal.
I'm surprised, Adam, you've not mentioned you picked Tarpey out as the man to watch.
I think that was my producer.
Double change then, being readied by Craig Harrison, who is a manager who's not afraid to change things and quickly if he feels that it can have an immediate impact. It's not the sort of manager to stand back and just let things develop. Devante Rodney is the other player who's going to be coming on. Headed by Marks. Harrison made sure it didn't reach Tarpey. Referee just halting the play here because of clearly a blow to the face for Sean Marks. He's going to have to change that shirt. As angry as he clearly is with what's happened, he is going to have to go off here, Marks. Well, he isn't going to go until he feels he's had his say to the referee here. It's not been a bad-tempered game at all. In fact, quite the opposite, really, but it's been fiercely contested. Neil Hare, the man in the middle today. So Sean Marks here coming off. So he's going to be substituted. It isn't just a case of changing his shirt. And of course, we're still waiting as well for this double change to be made by Craig Harrison, with Deverdix and Rodney coming on. There's the Maidenhead United change. Clifton coming on here, Adrian Clifton for Sean Marks. Adrian Clifton, a Montserrat international, trained with Arsenal as a youngster. Those other substitutions not quite ready just yet. And it's a slice clearance and it's awkward, and the goalkeeper, Loach, eventually gathers it in. Adams, one back here by Upwood, who's got Tarpey waiting in the middle. Having been under pressure at 1-0, suddenly they look a fairly comfortable Maidenhead.
And they do, and because Hartlepool just stopped doing what they did in the second half at the start, that really got them back into the game, the high press, stopping them playing out from the back. The two in midfield were pressing really well, Woods and Newton in particular. But they just stopped that, and even since the goal being seen for the second, they're just dropping too deep at the minute.
Donaldson. This is Magnay. First time ball by Pritchard. Nice ball by Clifton to O'Damerty, who goes on, and he'll try and drive towards goal. Well, everything was right until the finish, really, wasn't it?
He's looked very lively, isn't he? O'Damerty, not afraid to run with the ball. Loves coming inside. He certainly loves the shot as well. Just on that weaker right foot, on his left foot, sorry.
And Deverdix and Rodney have been waiting a while to come on here. Now they do make that change. Donnelly, one of those coming off, as is Ryan Donaldson. Well, Nicky Deverdix, a player who did so well, didn't he, at Dover. 17 assists, I think he weighed in with the season before last at Dover. Hasn't quite worked out for him so far in his native northeast at Hartlepool, but there's no doubt that he's got plenty of creativity in his locker. Rodney, the player coming on here, 19 years old, signed from Sheffield Wednesday in January. His last goals were those two, that brace on the final day win over Doncaster in League Two last season, which ultimately couldn't keep Hartlepool up. Massey with the clearance. Pritchard looking for Tarpey. Deverdix. It's nicely done by the substitute, a Newcastle youngster. Amond. Wide here is Blair Adams. 4 inside the penalty area. Towards Cassidy, and Ammon was there as well. It's going to be a corner.
No surprise that the substitutions are being made. Rodney and Deverdix coming on. Need more width to get out the ball out wide. You know Deverdix, the quality that he had. We've seen that in abundance at Dover. when he was there a couple of seasons ago. Just need that high press again, with fresh legs on.
They need something to build on here at Hartlepool. Newton. First time cross is headed clear by Goodman. Magnay. There's that pressure from Maidenhead that forces Hartlepool back. Devedix. James Comley here for Maidenhead United, a real leading light in their title-winning side last season. Clifton up against Lank.
Well, they'll be slightly lopsided. Hartlepool, when I say that, I mean, Nicky Devedix is not going to be an out-and-out wing. He's going to be a player that wants to come in off the line. Stefanti Rodney would look to try and hug that touchline as much as possible.
Well, Mark Pugac is joined by Robbie Savage, Chris Sutton, Dean Saunders, Paul Ince and Kelly Smith on BT Sports Score this afternoon. That's on 1. Our first live Premier League game of the season comes from the Amex Stadium as newly promoted Brighton host big spending Manchester City. That's at 5 on 1, also in 4K UHD. And Jake Humphrey is joined by Stephen Gerrard, Frank Lampard and Steve Manneman to review today's Premier League action. That on Premier League tonight from 8 and on 1 and also in 4K UHD as well. It's given away here by the captain, Magnay. Pritchard, furthest forward is Tarpey, as you'd expect. Pritchard looking to go on the outside of Carl Magnay, who read what was about to happen there. It's been given away cheaply by the captain there. Hartlepool win it back. A shake of the head from the referee. The home supporters wanted a free kick. Well, they do get a free kick. Newton with the foul on O'Doherty.
Well, the difference is, for that Maidenhead, they'd have just put it in the channels. And they would have got Hartlepool running back towards their own goal. They're just dwelling on the ball now too many times.
He's played as high as the Championship, Connor Newton. That was with Rotherham in the 2014-15 season. That yellow card in your view?
I think it was slightly harsh on him. He certainly overran it a little bit.
Well, Maidenhead not in a rush here, and who can blame them really? 2 to the good at home. Oh, and Tarpey! Good save by Loach. Still they keep it going though. Comley, Rodney trying to win it back. Determined stuff from Comley.
Oh, how important will this save be from Scott Loach? Great save from him. He just gets down well. Good, strong hand from him. Well, again, just leave themselves so open at the back. It's Blair Adams that was with him originally, just didn't stay with the run. Great strike, does everything well, hits it back across the goalkeeper. So a good save from him though.
Clifton's header. Rodney. All right. Again at the back by Kilman. I have to say that these Maidenhead players really are rising to the occasion of playing at a higher level. There'd always maybe be that element of doubt, I guess, for a manager. And he keeps the squad together, as Alan Devonshire decided to do, the one that had won the title for him the year before. But they're repaying that faith. And the Maidenhead manager making a change here. James Mully is the player coming on. It's Harry Pritchard who's coming off. Had that chance, didn't he, right at the end of the first half, where he was a little bit caught in two minds, but a good performance from him. Lots of great individual performances, but collectively, most importantly, Maidenhead United have been very good today. Mully, 28, signed from Braintree. A couple of summers ago, he actually followed Alan Devonshire from Braintree to Maidenhead. Made 100 appearances for the Iron. Eleven 3 o'clock kickoffs in the National League today. Two promotion challengers potentially meet at 10 Acres as Eastleigh host Dagenham and Redbridge. Aldershot will look to maintain their 100% record. They're at home to Guiseley. And two of the newly promoted sides meet at Stonebridge Road as Ebbsfleet take on Fylde. Promoted clubs with big ambitions, those two. Just adds to the intrigue and the excitement of this National League season, which is in its infancy, but already providing us with some good stories and plot lines as well, actually. Tarpey's layoff. It's Tarpey again. That's been worked quite very cleverly indeed. And the ball over by O'Damerty. You can see every goal from today's games in the fifth tier in the Vanarama National League highlight show. That's at 10 on BT Sport 3 tomorrow. Our next live National League game is in a fortnight's time. We're at the Shea for a West Yorkshire derby. That's Halifax Town against Guiseley. And then on Bank Holiday Monday, another note for your diaries, we head to Mill Farm as newly promoted and ambitious Fylde host Barrow. Less than 15 minutes of normal time to go here at York Road. Maidenhead United 2 to the good. Harrison with the header clear. Hammond scored so many goals, didn't he, at Grimsby the season before last. And he's had precious little to feed off today, Porrick Hammond.
It's been a frustrating afternoon for the pair of them, Cassidy and Hammond. Well, you look at Marks and Tarpey, they're getting plenty of service. Yes, it's a little bit more direct into them, but they're trying to find them early.
Kilman started something there for Maidenhead United.
I think it's a side of the game as well. I think it's the side of the game now that Craig Harrison's side need to realise that anytime they go to an away ground, they're going to be there for the scalp. Teams will get themselves up for playing against Hartlepool in the National League, where League Two, there's other clubs around them that just see them as equal competition. When you've been relegated from the Football League and you come down into the National League, teams will raise their games against you. You've got to find a way to start winning more games.
Well, at the moment, it's only going to be 1 point from 3 games for Hartlepool. Far from the ideal start, unless there is a turnaround here, and they still have some time here towards Harrison. And it's watched wide by the goalkeeper, Carl Pentney.
It's a weird one for me. It's 2-0 down. You had your two centre-halves stood on the halfway line.
Mallett's Mallet in Maidenhead. There's an 80s legend for you. Can we get Adam Virgo to say blur, though?
Well, he's having a whack a day.
I'm told a big Maidenhead United supporter, so he'll be pleased. Doesn't look too happy, but I'm sure he will be delighted.
I think he's forgot his hammer, that's why he's not happy.
Yeah, any younger viewers, that could have been lost on. I appreciate that. But if you're in your 30s or 40s, I would imagine you know exactly who that is.
I just about remember him.
Plenty forward here for Hartlepool. Needs must, of course. Well, they're going to have to get them back now, because potentially there could be the counter-attack on the Maidenhead United. Tarpey. And Tarpey will go on. And he tried to find James Mullet. Comley still defending for Hartlepool to do here. Kilman. Oh, and Tarpey just overran it, but what a good idea it was.
It's just great improvisation. When you got confidence, you can certainly try things like this. When you're maybe sometimes struggling, you just try and strike that first time. He's been excellent today, Adam. He really, really has. Led the line brilliantly.
Played inside by Amont. I know it won't be appreciated by Hartlepool supporters, clearly, Adam, but it is great to see a clearly talented player like Tarpey just enjoying himself, expressing himself. Crossed by Blair Adams. That is a good ball, and the header was on target. Roderick Amont rising well.
A good ball in again. Just keeping that higher line. So it would have had to be a good header there from Amont to beat Penny.
Comley. O'Damerty. Now Remy Clarima. Part of that Braintree squad, Clarima, that finished third under the Cowley brothers the season before last. Launched forward by Massey, just about gathered inside his area by Loach. Magnay. One of several players in this Hartlepool side, Magnay, that know this level well. Got to a playoff final with Grimsby. Wide here for Amont, who's got Cassidy in the middle. Cut out by Goodman, who's barely put a foot wrong.
Well, they've both been excellent, the two centre-halves. Anna Massey and Goodman. Coming in for Dean Inman today. Really important period of the game now for Maidenhead. You feel that Hartlepool can get a goal with the slope and the quality that they do possess. Could be an interesting 10 minutes.
Newton and Woods are on the edge of the area. It might drop here for Harrison. It's a good save by the goalkeeper, Bentley, who's not had much to do. Reacted well there to the header from the big centre-half.
Certainly one of those chances, time and time again, you just wish it falls to Hammond or Cassidy. Just stretching towards it, that's why you can't really get the power behind the shot. They have caused Maidenhead problems with set plays today, Hartlepool.
Scott Harrison has had that previous National League experience under his belt with Darlington. Says that he feels, and I think maybe this is something you've said in the past, Adam, as well, there's not much difference now between the National League and League Two.
Well, you see the teams that get promoted onto the National League into League Two. Not many of them come back down straight away after one season. You know, teams dropping from League Two to the National League, so very rarely. I think Bristol Rovers and Cheltenham have sort of done it recently. Carlisle 10, 12 years ago that did it before. And you look at Darryl Clark's Bristol Rovers, again, back-to-back promotions.
Hit first time by Devedix, but easy for Massey. Goodman goes long. He'd seen the movement from Tarpey. Cassidy's header. Devedix was first to it. Blair Adams forward from the back. Devedix shows for him again. First time ball in there by Devedix, was into a dangerous area. 1-2 appeals for handball, hopeful appeals from some of the Hartlepool players.
Well, Massey did really well there. He just took the responsibility. Penny coming out of his goal. Was nowhere going to get near it.
Something interesting to note in what is likely to be the final 10 minutes, if we include added time, is that Craig Harrison is a manager who does work a lot on strength and conditioning. He says it can show in the latter stages of games as well. And in his opinion, Hartlepool have finished their first 2 games the stronger of the 2 teams in each.
Well, certainly just the physical side, but also the mental side as well.
But as it stands, they're on the way to what will be a very hard defeat to stomach here. Rodney, that's a good ball as Hammond completely mishits it.
Oh, it was a great little layoff there, wasn't it, from Devante Rodney. Just no real conviction there from Patrick Hammond when he went to strike it.
Well, it's going to be a long journey back to the northeast for those who've come from Hartlepool today, unless there is a turnaround here. And 259 in the official away attendance. Can you take anything from this performance, Adam, to suggest that they've got brighter times ahead at the minute?
Well, if you want my honest opinion, no. I think they need to learn about the National League quickly. Just at the moment, I think they've just gone through the motions a little bit in this game. They have small periods where they were really on top, but you have to defend better for the first goal. That sets it all off. You deal with the first 25 minutes, constant pressure from Maidenhead. Got the squad here to do it, but they need to learn quickly.
Cassidy. And Damity again winning the ball back and immediately looks to try and use the pace of Tarpey up against Lank. Wasn't ruffled there. Of course, it was his error that led to that second goal for Tarpey. Pressure from Rodney up against Kilman. And Ammond's waiting in the middle. Can he pick him out? The pullback's a good one. And that's a fantastic save by the goalkeeper, Pentnick. Oh, the referee here has pointed to the spot. Well, Hartlepool United have got a potential lifeline here. Magne, the player who was inside the area here, and now the referee reaching for his cards as well. Well, 4 minutes to go of normal time. This could make things interesting again. It's a yellow card for Comley.
Well, if you never need a lifeline, it is right now. Just a late challenge on Magne there. It's a 2 foot for Comley. Referee tried to play the advantage. That's a big decision there from Neil Hare. What a chance now.
Porrick Hammond looking for what would be his first league goal of the season up against Carl Pentnick. Here comes Hammond, and there is that lifeline that Hartlepool United had craved. They're back in it with just over 3 minutes of normal time remaining.
Well, he's given his side a right lifeline. Patrick Hammond confidently taking penalty. Never in doubt, wasn't he? Just waiting for the keeper just to move that slightly minute first. Passes it past him into the back of the net. Now can Hartlepool just try and dig something out in the remaining minutes of this game.
And how much will it tell, we wonder, the fact that this is a part-time side in Maidenhead up against a full-time team in Hartlepool. We know who should finish the stronger.
Oh, they'll have their tails up now, Hartlepool.
Devedix, all about closing it out now for the home side. Newton has won the corner. It's some finale we're in for here.
Yeah, goals change games all the time. Changes the confidence within the squad. And a relative poor second half. Certainly feeling Hartlepool going to finish really, really strong now. I mentioned it before, just stick it under the goalkeeper. He's flapped at 1 or 2.
Only 2 have stayed back here for Hartlepool as it's driven in. And Devedix with the first-time cross. It was a teasing one, and it's kept out by Pentnick and out for a corner. Harrison was forward there for Hartlepool.
Well, it is relentless pressure now from the away side. Great ball in from Devedix. Just gets enough on it. Carl Pentnick, good double save from him. That little flap, and then he gets up quickly to make the stop.
Can Maidenhead hold out here? It's all Hartlepool. It's Devedix who swings it in, one of 3 subs brought on in the second half by Craig Harrison. Devidics yet again to swing in a fine cross, and that time the keeper was decisive. That's such an important punch by Bentley.
Yeah, great punch from him.
2 players down injured inside the area. I'm not sure the referees even noticed that. Hammond is one of those who's been hurt, the Hartlepool goal scorer.
I've given him a little bit of criticism in this game about coming for crosses, but as a defender, when you're under a lot of pressure, you see your goalkeeper coming out and punching it 20, 30 yards. You know the ball from Devidics is going to be a quality, but he made the decision early to come out. So he took 2 of the Hartlepool players out. So he's left Hammond in a lot of pain.
No, you'd imagine the nerves will be jangling down on the Maidenhead United bench for Alan Devonshire. Just got, well, his side have got to find a way just to close this out, and Craig Harrison will just be hoping that they can continue this pressure.
I'll say with the injury time now, it's just going to give him that little bit more of an opportunity. I think if he's honest, that I wouldn't say that his side's been at the races in the second half. They gave so much in the first half with their willingness to play on those second balls and try and turn Hartlepool as much as possible. And this is a massive chance now, Nicky Devidics.
5 added minutes we are expecting here, which is clearly good news for Hartlepool. Nicky Devidics will take this free kick. All about holding on, all about holding out for Maidenhead. Attack against defence here. Devidics swings it in and goes all the way through after that flick on.
And a flick on from Jake Cassidy. Just making that run across the near post area. Got a gamble at the far post though.
Maidenhead in added time here, making a change. And it's Dean Inman who's going to be coming on, such a fixture in the heart of the defence, which won the title. Replaced today by Jake Goodman, but he will come on and play a very important role in closing this out, and it's Upwood who's coming off.
We'll clearly see that Alan Devonshire realises the dangers now in the final third. For Hartlepool, the possession that they're going to have. I think it's just an extra man, just with that little extra body in front of the back four with the long balls.
Real wholehearted player, Dean Inman. That partnership he had with Massey last season, a big feature of the title-winning side. Scott Harrison. Rodney. Michael Woods with the layoff. Harrison now gets it wide. Adams now for Hartlepool, up towards Devidics. 3.5 minutes to go at York Road. Just the 1 goal in it. Devidics with that deep cross. Is it too deep? Just about kept in, but to no avail for Hartlepool.
I think it's frustrating for Craig Harrison. It's taking the goal to kick Hartlepool into gear with the pressure, moving the ball a lot quicker, getting the ball out of the wide, get crosses into the box.
Tarpey is the player giving chase. Across came Lang. And Tarpey again has done ever so well. And he's been clever too there as well to win the free kick. Just what his side needed in the circumstances.
Well, it'd just be a massive sigh of relief. You could just hear around the ground what that free kick means. It just gives you that little bit of breathing space. But it's really just summed up his game, isn't it? He's just been non-stop running. He's just kept the back three under pressure in the first half, the back four in the second half. Use up 1.5 minutes here just to try and keep it in the corner.
Clifton just trying to protect it. Adams desperate to get it back. Just over 2 minutes to go for Craig Harrison's side to try and snatch something from York Road, or it'll be 1 point from 3 games at the start of the season. Rodney trying to shake off Massey. Massey's out of position here, but he's done well, as did Mully.
Yeah, McNay did brilliantly there. Colmy would have won the ball there, his brain broken. Even numbers at the back, very, very small now. Hartlepool. Poor interception there from the captain.
Maidenhead, remember, have never won a National League game before this, their first season at this level. They are right on the brink of a bit of club history here. Tarpey, the man who's 2 goals, it proved so important. Kilman. Well, it's been played through here to Clifton. And Inman was arriving in the middle and he's saying, why didn't you cross to me?
Yep. Just that run from midfield from him, and or he could have just run it back into the corner.
Maidenhead travel to Fylde, by the way, this coming Tuesday, before entertaining Ebbsfleet a week today. The side they were promoted alongside last season, but Hartlepool still sense they can get an equaliser, and it went from Devedix. Hartlepool at home to Chester this coming midweek. Alan Devonshire living on his nerves down on that touchline as Meaty again prevents the cross. Just 30 seconds remaining for Hartlepool. Surely it's now or never.
Well, it is now. Long throw into the box. Try and win those second balls if Maidenhead get there, and if you get that chance, just hit the target.
It's going to have to be last ditch for Hartlepool if they're to take something. Tarpey racing through here. He's on a hat-trick. He can finish it off. Oh, it's a great save by Loach. Brilliant goalkeeping.
He did brilliantly, didn't he? Just spreads himself so big right at the end.
A big moment for the Magpies. Thanks to Tarpey's brace, Alan Devonshire's Maidenhead United have their first ever National League win. It comes at the 3rd attempt, and against a team who were 2 leagues above them a year ago. It's 1 point from 3 games for Craig Harrison and Hartlepool. The difficult start that they feared to life at this level. But of course the season is long and much can change. But it's Tarpey's day, terrific Tarpey for Maidenhead United. 3 goals in 3 games for him, what a start to life in the 5th tier. Full time, Maidenhead United 2, Hartlepool United 1.